So, being hockey players in Canada, are you able to like go out in the streets in Edmonton ever?
Yeah, you can't go anywhere. Obviously, you haven't been to Edmonton.
No,
I told you, it's hockey, church, and the Oilers.
Let's start with the first time you guys met each other. Do you remember the first time you met?
I don't remember. I called him one time when he was playing junior hockey.
That's right.
Erie. I think he broke a record, or you did something pretty special, which you seem to do every night. So I remember I called you to congratulate you with a bunch of buddies at a movie, and you had been 16, first year
That's
junior.
Exactly, yeah.
I remember thinking, wow, seems like yesterday I was 16 playing junior hockey.
I remember I was in the car with my roommate, and we were picking someone up, and obviously the music's going, and I answered the call, and it's like, Connor, it's Wayne Gretzky. I'm like, oh my God, turn the music down. Turn the music down. It was the weirdest thing. I mean, I'm like, who was that? Like, why are you making such a big deal? And,
Well, at least you believe me, because a lot of times I call people, they go, yeah, right, and they hang up. You're going to find that out in the next couple of years. Yeah, it's Connor. Yeah, right, bye.
yeah, I thought it was being punked, and I'm like, I think that was Wayne Gretzky. And they're like, no way. Like, I'm pretty sure it was.
That's funny.
That was,
And I think the first time we met was probably after the draft, right?
Yeah.
When you got drafted to Edmonton.
yeah.
Then we got, it was fun the day they closed the arena in Edmonton. That was fun. That was a fun night.
That was special. That was cool.
That was good.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how it works out. I remember the draft lottery night showing up, and there's a bunch of teams that could get picked, and sure enough, Edmonton was the one, and obviously the history of Edmonton, and because of Wayne, and because of lots of players that came before us, it was definitely special.
Yeah, I think that the one thing that I can relate to is I understood and understand the pressure that you're under in the microscope. And you probably even had more of a microscope than I did, because in this day and age, it's a smaller world and there's more media attention. And the reality was you were, although there was a lot of focus on me, you were a can't miss #1 pick at 16. At 16 and 17, I still had half the hockey world saying, well, I'm not sure if he can play. He might be too small and might be too slow. So my path, my journey was a little bit different than yours, because you had so much pressure from the age of probably 8, 9 that, okay, this guy's going to be the first pick overall. And each and every year you got better, and obviously you delivered. So to be the first pick overall, as you know, is a great honor. And you've done it very well, to say the least.
I think you did right.
I hung in there. Well, I think my pressure was a little bit different than Connor's pressure, in the sense that I was under a microscope, but I still had so many people saying, well, we're not sure, he's a good player, but wait till he gets to the next level, or, wait till he gets to junior hockey, or wait till he gets to pro hockey. So I had these doubters that really fueled my fire, really pushed me to go to another level. Your pressure came from within, having to be successful and live up to the expectations, because people would say every night, oh, is this guy any good? I got to see this kid play at 15 or 16. And each and every year you've gotten better and delivered. And I don't think people realize the pressure in the microscope that guys like you and Sidney Crosby and Mario, when they come into the league, it's a lot harder than people think. And you know that better than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much pressure. It's especially in Edmonton. I mean, you know what that's like, going through what they went through over the last decade and whatever, and you got to win.
Yeah, that's the one thing about playing in Edmonton. And a lot of cities are like that: Toronto, Calgary, Winnipeg. But in Edmonton, it just seems like it's hockey and church and the Oilers, and that's what goes on in Edmonton. And that's a good thing when you're winning. Yeah. And when you're not winning, it's really hard to leave your apartment, as you know.
Yeah. Well, what's it like to win there?
Oh, wow. Well, we created a job for the guy who carries around the Stanley Cup. That's probably the best thing that ever happened to winning there. No, it's, we were talking about this with a friend who was playing in a big city, and they said that people who have season tickets go to about 10% of the games. In Edmonton, I could look across the stands and see the same people every single night, and know that so-and-so's in that corner, and they're in this corner, and they're there. And you knew around Christmas time that they were going to go to Hawaii or Florida or Palm Springs, and somebody else would be in those seats. But every other game, those people were there with their wife or their kids. And so I think the biggest difference about winning in Edmonton compared to bigger cities is that everybody, when you win, you've seen them every night. So you know that they're as excited about it as you are. Yeah. And they feel that they've done as much to win that Stanley Cup as you did as a player. So when you guys do win, and you will win a Stanley Cup, the feeling is just over the top. And you work your whole life to do that, because even at a young age, you probably said, oh, Connor McDavid scored overtime, Game 7. I got the winning goal. And if you lost, you said, okay, we're going to play again. And so you always won. So, but when you actually lift the cup, it's pretty special. And you will lift it one day because you're too good. For me, Glenn Sather was the coach, and he played in Montreal and he played in Boston. He played with John Beliveau, Yvon Cornway, Guy Lafleur, Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito. And they won championships there, both places. And he really believed that you can win a championship and you can still win the Norris Trophy, the scoring race, the Hart Trophy, the Conn Smythe, and still be a really good team player. So he pushed us and motivated us to not just be champions as a group, but if you're unselfish, you're going to win all the individual awards too. So yeah, I think that, listen, I can't speak for you, but we all follow the stats. That's part of what hockey is. You read the notes before the game, who's got points, who's on a hot streak, how many goals, what goalie's got the best save percentage. So yeah, I think it's part of our life. It's probably the same way today.
Sure. I mean, yeah, it is for sure. I mean, you have to pay attention to it. I mean, that's the game. You have to be a team player, like you said, and you have to play within a system, and that's how you're successful. So
yeah, and I follow you guys because you and Leon are such in a battle right now, but Nathan McKinnon keeps lurking around, and every time you guys kind of pull away, he seems to have a 4-point night. And I'm like, oh my God, he won't go away.
No, he's sticking around pretty good.
So it's a fun race. Well, that's what makes it fun.
What was the best piece of advice you ever got, Wayne?
Oh, for me, it was pretty easy. I was lucky. At a young age, I met Gordy. Gordy was the greatest player I ever played. He could play in any era, and he was a special man. He was a really good guy. Did you ever get a chance to meet Gordie Howe?
I never know.
He was really special. A lot like Bobby Orr, and you got to know Bobby. Just really nice people. And Gordy told me at a young age, if you think you know everything about the game, you don't. You can learn something new every single day. And he told me at 50 years old, he got an assist in the NHL All-Star game at 50 years old. And I can't even imagine that. Today, nobody could do that.
Wow.
And he said, you know, till the day I put my skates away, I learned something new every day. And that's kind of the best advice I ever got.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever went to Edmonton, it was right after the lottery. And Mr. Cates flew me in before the draft, and just kind of cruised around the city and saw the rink. At the time it was Rexall, and it's not the prettiest city in the world for sure, but it's home now for sure. But
it's cold.
It is cold. It was actually the coldest place on the planet last week.
Yeah,
so that was
nice.
But the people are really nice. Yeah.
It's really funny because you flew in and Mr. Cates' plane. I flew into Edmonton on this little Leard plane, 4 guys and all our hockey bags in the plane. And we had to give them a credit card to pay for the plane. and my friend who gave him the credit card had a $600 limit, so it didn't get us too far. But my first recollection, I didn't know anything about Edmonton. I knew the Edmonton Eskimos. That's what I knew of Canadian football team.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I made a deal with my dad. I would stay in high school until I turned 18. So when I got there, the first thing I did the next day was I enrolled in high school, and then I went to hockey practice. And the day I turned 18, I dropped out of high school. I said I fulfilled my commitment.
Yeah.
But it was. I was lucky. I met a lot of great people from first day, and I had 10 great years there, and I loved it. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, no, we love it for sure. You think it was your favorite place to play?
Yeah, because when you win, it's the best, right?
Sure.
So in my lifetime, I said yesterday, a bunch of kids, I loved everywhere I played, everywhere I lived, the players I played with. But the thing about Edmonton, when you win, you can't recount that. There's no comparing that to anything else, right? So if you ask Reggie Jackson, won 3 times with the Oakland A's, that was pretty special. You won twice in New York, but you won 3 times in Oakland, so you'd probably say, I like Oakland. But I love when you win, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I would love for you guys to win, but I'd love to see you guys play in the Olympics too. That's the one thing that I got to do that was one of the greatest things in my life, that you would just it would be
Well,
something that you would never, ever forget.
No, I'm dying to play for sure.
I think all the guys are.
Yeah.
Hear that, everyone?
Well, I think it's such a cool time too right now, like
Yeah.
with Sid and Ovi, and they're a little bit older, but we have the new generation kind of coming in, and it's a perfect mix, I think.
Yeah,
But,
Austin and
Yeah.
yourself and Mitch Marner. Yeah, it would be, I think it'd be fun.
yeah.
So I'm hearing how much you guys love Edmonton and how great it is to play there. What is the most hostile environment you've played in?
The Edmonton-Calgary rivalry, I know the Islanders, Rangers, Montreal, the old Quebec City, Anaheim, LA, but to me, and I got to play in a few of them, there's no rivalry like Calgary-Edmonton.
Yeah.
It's really a different level. And I used to be really sort of nervous because people get so wrapped up in the Calgary-Edmonton rivalry that I would be like, whoa, this is crazy. And then when I got traded to LA, it's like I never was in Edmonton. I was like, wow, it's a completely different feeling now.
Yeah.
So it's really the two cities that have this thing, not the actual players.
Yeah, no, it's for sure the fans, and they always get in this huge argument of which city's nicer, and they're just the same. Like they're both the same.
Yeah,
There's
they're
no
both good
difference.
cities.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever pay attention to what people are saying off the ice or what the fans are saying or the signs they're holding? Or do you just kind of focus on the moment
Yeah.
when you're playing?
Today's day and age with social media, you can't pay attention. I mean, like,
We didn't have that.
there's so many people saying so many different things. You just can't pay attention to
Yeah,
it.
and you can't make everybody happy,
No.
right? And my dad taught me at a young age, if they're booing you on the road, that means they really like you.
Yeah.
I remember one time I said to him, why are they booing Bobby Orr in Toronto? I was like 7 years old. They said, because he's good. And I went, oh, okay. The one thing that was different in our game to you guys now, every arena is the same size. So when we played in like Boston Garden, Chicago Stadium, Buffalo, it was 3/4 the size of an
Wow.
arena. So it was completely different than...
Different game.
And the bench in Boston was like 15 feet inside the blue line. So if you changed at some parts of the game, you could be offside and not even realize it. So
Yeah.
you'd have to run down the other end of the bench and then jump over so you're on this side of the blue line. Today's game is different because every rink's the same. So you
Yeah.
can hardly tell the difference if you're playing in, Winnipeg or Calgary, Vancouver. The arenas are all the same.
What was your favorite place to play?
Other than Edmonton, I love playing in Edmonton.
I mean on the road.
Oh, on the road? Well, I would tell you two things. When I played in Edmonton, I loved it. It was a great arena, great ice. Paul Coffey used to get down there and make sure the guy fixed the ice properly. It was very funny. And then when I went to LA, I hated playing in Edmonton. Not because I didn't love it, but I just felt uncomfortable every single game that I went into Edmonton as an opponent because the people were always so nice to me. So I really struggled with that. But for me, it was Maple Leaf Gardens. Did you ever play there?
No.
Gosh, you're young. No, Maple Leaf Gardens to me was the greatest arena ever there was. And I was lucky I got to play in MSG for 3 years. And that arena is so unique. Brian Leach, my teammate, he was a wonderful guy, a great player. Friday night game, he'd say, Gretz, there's nothing better than a Friday night game in Madison Square Garden. And I'd be like, okay. And the fans were electric. So Friday night at home when I was a Ranger was pretty special. Playing in Toronto was always special.
Yeah.
Wayne, over your long and legendary career, when you think about playing hockey or when you played pro hockey, is there a specific moment that stands out to you that comes to the top of your mind? A specific game
Yeah.
or time period of time when you played that is kind of fresher or means the most?
The two things I remember most, my first face-off was against Stan Mikita. And Stan Mikita is one of my dad's favorite players. And all I remember thinking was, wow, and he beat me on the face-off. And then lifting the Stanley Cup was something that you just can't describe. And I know one day you're going to get that feeling, and it really is. And the funny thing about it, I was telling friends the other day, everybody before that final game, when you got that chance to win the Stanley Cup, and everybody wants to win the Stanley Cup, and everybody wants their name on the cup. But ironically, if you go through the locker room, all the players talk about is, we got to win tonight, I'm going to get a ring. I'm going to get a ring. And nobody ever wears their ring. I don't see guys who ever wear the ring. But that overshadows the actual name on the cup because everybody wants that Stanley Cup ring. So when you design the ring, make sure you can wear it. Don't get too big.
Now they're so big, yeah.
How about you, Connor? What's your favorite memory on the ice so far in your career?
Kind of like Wayne said about Stan Mikita. When I first played Sid, that was really exciting for me. my first year I got hurt and missed both games against Sid, and so my second year I got to go into Pittsburgh and play Sid, and we again took the opening draw.
Yeah, that's cool.
The whole time I was watching him during the anthem. I'm like, oh my God, like that's Sidney
know.
Crosby over there.
And
About to play against them, and then same thing, the face-off. I don't even think my stick touched the ice. He swept it. He swept it back so fast, but it was yeah, it was a special moment for sure.
Yeah, and you know, it's so quick it happens, because when I was like you at that age and you're looking across at Sid, I was looking across at guys like Brian Trottier. Everybody's comparing you, then all of a sudden it's like that they're going, okay, is this guy the next Connor? Before you know it, you're going to be hunted down. It happens really fast.
Yeah, there's definitely pressure with that for sure. But Wayne alluded to earlier, that's something that people have been saying for a long time now, and I'm pretty comfortable with it now. Like Wayne said, they're probably already talking about another one coming up soon. So, but with that pressure, you have to win, and that's all I want to do, really.
My hobbies are different than his, because I have 5 kids and 2 grandchildren. So we can start with that.
Yeah, I got a little bit less pressure off the ice than that. So I just got a dog, but
I got a dog too.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I don't know. We're a pretty young team,
Yeah.
so we got a young group that we still hang out and
Yeah, and I don't think people realize during the season, like it's 100% hockey. You don't really have time to go skiing or go play golf or whatever. Your commitment is hockey.
Yeah.
You know, and when you do get time off, you want to lie around and watch TV.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
I know the feeling.
What about favorite place to vacation?
I like going to LA. It's so quiet there.
It's nice.
No one bugs you. It's a beautiful place, obviously. So
Yeah, LA, the weather, you can't beat the weather,
yeah,
right?
it's so nice.
My favorite place to go is that we love going to the Bahamas. It's a place we've gone since 1988. Merv Griffin used to own Paradise Island, and he brought my wife to Hollywood, and he sent us on a trip there one time, and we've gone back almost every year. So that's kind of our favorite place to go.
Nice.
I tell kids this all the time, that your job is play hockey. Concern yourself with what you're going to do after you play hockey. You're not a real estate agent. You don't own restaurants and bars. You're a hockey player. We're lucky. We all get paid very well to play in a great game. And obviously you got to have the right people around you to make sure when you are done, okay, I can now choose to go do what I want to do. And for yourself, when you retire, you're going to have so many opportunities, but that's so far down the road. I mean, 23 years old, you have a good 16, 17 years left in you. And that's all you should worry about, right?
Yeah.
And that's all you should care about, because that's your life, right? And you're going to have all those open doors. So I didn't think about anything until after I retired, really. And then you kind of go down those roads. I only have one regret. 1993. Montreal was a better team than we were, but we were playing as such a good team. We had a really good coach. Kelly Rudy was playing as well as any goalie in hockey at that time, and Patrick Roy was the best goalie in hockey. We were up 1-0. Game 2, we were up 2-1 late, and we lost game 2. Lost 3 games in overtime. And I wish if I could replay one week of hockey, that would be the week that if I could have won Stanley Cup, it would have been exciting.
What about hockey in Canada versus hockey in the U.S.? Has hockey really grown in the U.S.? Is it becoming more popular, as popular in Canada?
I don't know if it's ever going to be like Canada.
No.
Because in the United States, and I live here a lot, baseball and basketball and football, tennis is so big, right?
Yeah.
And they're popular in Canada, but still hockey's number 1. So hockey's battling with 4 or 5 different sports here. But what hockey has done is that we've grown the game so much with so many good players like Connor and Austin Matthews and Alex and Sid. Earlier, guys like Brett Hall and Messier and Gordie Howe and so on. The kids are now saying, I want to try playing hockey. So California, Texas, and then in Missouri with the Blues winning the Stanley Cup. We had 5 kids drafted in the first round a couple of years ago out of St. Louis, which is spectacular. So you can see that more and more elite athletes who might have chosen other sports are now playing hockey. So as time goes on here, I continuously see Canada battling with the United States because the Americans are getting so much better.
Connor, do you have any interest in coaching after?
Let him play hockey. I just said he doesn't have to worry about that.
Wayne just said not to worry about it, so
don't worry
I'm not going to worry about it
there
until
you
after.
go. Good answer.
Cool. How about, so speaking of playing hockey, how about playing for Canada? How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got to do it at the Olympics, obviously, but even just playing the World Juniors or World Championship, just getting a chance to wear the logo is so special.
There's no feeling like it. And international hockey is really good. When you play in the Olympics, it's even another level. The great thing about the Olympics is you stay in the village with all the other athletes. To me, that was the best part of the Olympics.
Yeah.
How about playing against USA in that rivalry? How does that feel?
My era, that one didn't feel as big of a rivalry because I was such good friends with so many guys on that team, like Chris Chelios and Brian Leach and Brett Hull and Doug Waite. I mean, I felt like I was playing against my friends, whereas when we played the Russians, we hated them because we didn't know them, right?
Yeah.
Probably you guys have a little bit of a similar situation, but the Americans are way better every year, and they're one of the elite teams in the world right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, being hockey players in Canada, are you able to go out in the streets in Edmonton ever?
Yeah, he can't go anywhere. Obviously, you haven't been to Edmonton.
No,
I told you, it's hockey, church, and the Oilers.
Yeah.
He can't go anywhere. He actually probably gets bothered more in Edmonton than I do because I haven't been there for so long, and he's so recognizable now that I'd probably get around easier in Edmonton than he would, no question about it. I mean, I get recognized, but I'm older. I tell you, when you're getting old is when people come up to you and they say, "It used to be, gosh, I used to go to all the games, I had season tickets," and then it was, my parents used to go to all the games, they had season tickets. Now I get, my grandparents told me you were pretty good. So that's when you know you're getting old.
Well, anyone that comes up to me in Edmonton, they just want to tell me their favorite Wayne story. They all have their favorite Wayne story. So that's
you probably get sick of them. That's the craziest thing happened to him. You get sick of Wayne Gretzky stories.
Connor, being in the league for a few years now, how do you feel now compared to when you first got to the league?
Yeah, I think you just get more and more comfortable. I mean, I remember my first game, it was actually here in St. Louis. You're almost hoping not to touch the puck because you don't want to make a mistake, and guys are so big, and then as you get going, it's the game gets easier, it slows down a bit, and yeah, for sure more comfortable.
Wayne, do you feel like the game has gotten more physical and faster since you were a player watching it now?
I think it's a different game now. The players are in an elite level. The size and the speed of the players is, I guess, better than when we played. The equipment's better. The skates are better. I said the other day, Bobby Orr used tennis shoes with a blade on it. And he's still one of the greatest skaters who ever lived. The equipment and the technology the players have today. So it's not a knock against the 60s and the 70s and 80s. 20 years from now, the game will be better than it is today. That's just progression, and that's what we want in sports and, of course, obviously in hockey. So what these kids are doing today is really unique and really special. The speed of the game and the physicality of it is, I'm glad I retired.
What does it feel like to get checked?
Well, I mean, it's...
He never gets checked.
Well,
I'm kidding.
No, I mean, it's, I don't know, now they're starting to do the shadowing, which I'm sure you got
Which
a lot of,
so
which is the
ridiculous.
dumbest thing ever, but
Yeah.
it's not a lot of fun to deal with, but
It should be an automatic penalty as soon as the guy stands beside you.
the coach should get kicked out.
It's the dumbest thing in hockey. I used to hate it, but you're too fast for any of those guys. I don't know who's going to shadow you. I'm amazed that guys like Connor, the young guys, it's a different world today. Like he said, social media, they're under a lot of pressure and a huge microscope. I think it's a real testament to their families, to how well you guys handle who you are, both on the ice and off the ice, and a credit to the league and a credit to the city that you play in. So there's no need for me to give him advice because he listened to his mom and dad at his young age, and he's taken that throughout his whole life.